Detroit Become Human is the latest game from Quantic Dream, a studio whose work I am quite fond of and always offers me something different. Detroit is no exception. Despite its similarities to the first of their games I played, Heavy Rain, in one particular way it provided me something very different from Heavy Rain or Beyond Two Souls. That thing is failure and its full incorporation into the narrative of Detroit Become Human. I remember playing Heavy Rain for the first time back in 2010 and being so surprised by its approach to game design and storytelling. I was riveted by the notion that you had 4 playable characters, each of whom was of significance to the story, who had only one life, and if one of them died, the story would continue without them. Knowing that cranked up the tension of every confrontation and every missed button prompt as I consistently feared that my characters were in real jeopardy. I didn't want to lose one of them, as that would cause me to lose a quarter of the game and feel like a failure. I didn't want to have my progress wasted and have to start over, or get to the end and feel like I got the bad ending. Heavy Rain used the possibility of real failure as a threat to keep you engaged. It then made the challenges easy, or perhaps lenient enough, that I never lost anyone across either of my playthroughs. While there are a number of places in which you can lose a character, the game revolves around 5 central challenges, all of which are for a single character and are all about testing a player's morality. As a result, whether you complete these challenges or not is a choice. You can argue that any choice you make is a successful completion of that challenge so long as you believe in the choice you made, rather than maybe accidentally pressing the wrong button and doing the opposite of what you wanted. The game does hold you responsible for your sense of morality near the end though, where depending on the choices you made, you will have a tougher or easier time succeeding in rescuing Ethan's son, the game's ultimate goal. In my first playthrough, I chose to complete 3 of the 5 challenges, kept all of my characters alive, and saved Ethan's son, a complete success. My second time through, I decided to do the opposite of all major choices, completed the 2 challenges I didn't before while refusing to do the ones I had previously, which led to a completely unrealistic and somewhat humorous path for Ethan, kept all 4 characters alive, and still managed to save Ethan's son. Once again, a complete success, albeit a very different and weird journey to get there. In Quantic Dream's next game, Beyond Two Souls, I started out with the same concern for my character's safety. I found myself consistently making small mistakes in combat due to the game's prompts being unclear, and it felt more like a failure on the game's part than my own, which simply led to frustration. At one point, rather late in the game, I messed up enough times in one fight that it appeared as if I was about to be killed. Oh no, I thought. She's about to die. Am I about to lose all my progress and have to start over? Then things stopped. I was given control of my character's spiritual guardian, and I force-choked out the attacker, saving the main character. At that moment, I realized that no matter how many mistakes were made, and whether I or the designers were responsible, that there was no real way to fail in the game. My experience with Detroit Become Human was quite different from those previous 2 games. Similarly to Heavy Rain, Detroit gives you multiple characters and makes it possible to lose each of them. Failure is an option. However, for me, in Detroit, it became more than that. It became an outcome, a recurring one in fact, but only with one character. Detroit has 3 playable characters, Kara, Marcus, and Connor. With Kara and Marcus, things went just like they did with Heavy Rain. I made the choices I thought were right, and I never experienced real failure. However, things went very differently with Connor. With Connor, I felt like I was consistently failing to complete his mission, finding the cause of android deviancy and putting a stop to it. A deviant escaped because I got distracted protecting my partner. One stabbed me and nearly killed a bunch of people before I gunned him down. Another shot me in the head and killed himself. Luckily, Connor is the one character who can have his consciousness preserved and put into a new body. I failed a test from the creator of the androids and lost out on the information he had. One level even ended early because I didn't manage to locate the witness in time. Again and again I came up short with Connor. In fact, one time when playing as Kara, I snuck past Connor so that even when I was playing as someone else, Connor was failing. After coming up short so many times, Connor is going to be taken off the case, and who knows what his makers at CyberLife will do with him then. I have one last chance to examine all the bits of evidence I collected and find Jericho, the hidden safe haven for deviants. I managed to put the pieces together and find it. Finally, a success. Some redemption for poor Connor. The police swarm the place, and what should have been a raid quickly turns into a massacre. Connor meets Marcus, leader of the deviants, realizes how wrong what's happening is, and becomes a deviant. Now he can fully appreciate the fact that despite his best intentions, discovering Jericho and giving its location to the police was actually his greatest failure yet. But with this insight, this enlightenment, as he is now freed from the programming that was confining his mind and emotions, he can set about trying to make things right. Connor heads to Cyberlife to awaken hundreds, if not thousands, of androids of the same model as himself and give his people a chance to survive and live on. There he must confront another Connor, one who is trying to stop him and protect Cyberlife rather than the androids. One designed just as Cyberlife wants, a perfect Connor. I try to bring him down and I fail. My human partner is killed, and Connor, now without the possibility of Cyberlife preserving his memories and consciousness, dies. However, all is not lost, because I managed to pass along the code for deviancy to the other sleeping Connor models and awaken them. Connor will live on through them, figuratively speaking, the next generation that he has passed his knowledge down to, just as all organic life tries to do. With his dying act, he finally finds success and accomplishes a very human goal. Meanwhile, evil Connor is seen panicking as he is incapable of processing and dealing with his failure, having never experienced it. Through his failure, my Connor is made human, and through evil Connor's perfection, he is defeated. After all, the goal of the game is to become human, not become perfect. Kara has her connection to Alice and experiences what it is like to be a mother. Marcus had a loving father and develops a romantic relationship with one of his allies. In doing so, he feels what it is like to love and be loved in return. These are their paths to becoming human. Connor comes across his humanity in a very different way. Connor doesn't find love, he finds failure, and through the lessons it teaches, his acknowledgement and acceptance of his flaws and consistent strive to be better, despite how hard it can be at times, he discovers what it means to be human. Detroit Become Human is a beautiful story about love and redemption and how those things make us human. They also go hand in hand, for if we do not love ourselves, we will not seek redemption, and if we do not love others, we shall not grant it. This story and message could not have been delivered so effectively if not for Quantic Dream's bold decision to make failure real and likely. It's a stunning example of how to incorporate theme into the heart of a game's design, and how this medium can cover ideas in a way that is wholly unique.